Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new night point of view review. In front of us is the new Volkswagen UP GTI. This is the facelift. This is borrowed by a subscriber. He's sitting in the back seat, so we're gonna take this baby for a spin. It's a little bit modified by the owner, but it's mostly stock. Now we're gonna unlock the car. You can see the front lights have been upgraded. These are H4 Awesome, so they kind of have a more like a white tone. You can see the standard daytime running lights. Now if we come to the side of the car, we're sitting on 17-inch alloys. The ride is a bit lower than the standard up. And then if we check the rear, once again you can see the tail lights on the rear. Just gonna open up, although the car is full of stuff. It's around, I think, 251 liter and around 900 if you knock down the seats. For a small city hatchback, it's pretty cool. I love what the owner did this side up. That's the front side where we're going. And let's jump inside. Now, what's also cool is up at night, you can see the ambient lights inside are red. Now the standard version would have a white, and then the electric version would have the blue ambient lights. So this is pretty gorgeous. Now if I hope this guy is not gonna back up into me, it's pretty close. So just to make sure. These guys are here to get some food. There's a 24-hour service around the corner. Anyways, back to the review. Just wanted to demonstrate some music because the owner has upgraded the sound system. He removed the Beats audio and he added a modified sound system. So just gonna load music. So we can't play for too long, not to get a copyright strike, but the sound is definitely excellent, and it has a good bass and more richer sound. Before we head out, just gonna turn on the interior lights. You can see the interior just a little bit, and this, as I've mentioned in my review, is in red because the owner decided to swap it for the Skoda Citigo Monte Carlo, so it's in red, and I think it suits the top red part. Otherwise it would be black, just small detail. Now we're gonna head out, turn on the engine. And another thing, the owner used OBD 11 to lower the fake sound that you hear inside the car, so it's lowered to 30%. And I personally don't like fake sounds, but this is just a little bit, so you can like hear through these speakers how the engine would sound if it didn't have all those new stuff that are regulated for you know, environment and so on. But you can hear the little petrol, it's burning nicely. And we are powered by the 1.0 3-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine with 115 horsepower. And in this little car, it's so light and so small, that's a lot of horsepower. So it's linked to a 6-speed manual, and Volkswagen is known by having a nice manual transmissions. They're really precise. They sit and fit in nice into the gears, and the car is just very nimble. It's fast, and the engine is more than enough. But what is even more cool, there is a remap that you can do, and I think if I remember correctly, you can increase the horsepower for another what's it, another 15 horsepower, 25. So I can imagine with even more power, this car would be a rocket on the road. It's already super fast at this moment as a stock. Now we're gonna see if we can do a little launch where it's safe. 0 to 100 is 8.8 seconds officially, but maybe with warm tires you can get a little bit better. And we're gonna go to the highway and do a little highway run, or the Autobahn. The owner is from Germany, but he is Croatian by origin. So that's why the car is on German plates. He's inside the car with me, so I'm not breaking the local law, which would be a huge customs fine. So for all of you who are, you know, from abroad, if you have relatives coming from abroad into Croatia, for the local audience, you're not allowed to drive their car if they're not inside the car. So be careful when you're jumping into someone's fancy car. You can see that the car easily speeds to the speed limit, but we're gonna stick to the speed limits until we get to the highway. Now, maneuverability, the car has a good feedback through the steering wheel. Not too light, not too hard. I would say somewhere in between the soft that you get in the regular version, but it gives you a little bit feedback. Not too harsh like in Polo. You would have driving modes, and in the harshest it would give you a little bit more. This is like, I would say, something in between. Now, Volkswagen brakes are usually harsh from the start, but in this one I would say they're not too aggressive, but they're not also too light. You do have drum brakes in this car, which is good for maintenance, it's cheaper, but you also have front discs that are sufficient enough for this power. Now, we were driving today, I didn't have space to push the car to the limits in the bends, so but I can probably think it's small. It's lowered, so it should be good in the corners. There shouldn't be any body leaning. It is a little bit boxy shape, but I don't think that should be the issue for this car. So I can anticipate that this car should be very stable. I think the owner should agree. I think he can nod around behind. I can see him in the mirror. So I think that's confirmed. Now we have some light here, and although this light is gonna turn on immediately because it is center triggered. Now you can see easily speeds up, and I just love it. This car is so much fun, and it's really engaging because the manual, if you had automatic in this car, it would probably be boring. This is one of the cars where you want to have a manual. Now, just a little touch of the interior. Despite having a manual gauges, and this is a gauge from the Volkswagen Beetle that's discontinued, I like it. In a sports car, I personally like needles. I like, you know, manual gauges. I don't mind digital cockpits, but in this one it's pretty cool. It is a little bit limiting. You can see your trip and similar, but it looks great. I love the Volkswagen's white you know, speed, and then a red needle. It's pretty cool. Oh, there's a cool, you can see the brakes are quite sufficient. There's a cool I think it was Golf 1 or 2. I think it was first generation. It's kind of was in a good condition, maybe a little bit tuned. It was interesting. Now we wanted to turn on the phone, but we'll give the phone to the owner and show you a little bit of Volkswagen UP GTI app that we have. So it's here. So there's an app you can download. What's cool is there is a graphic user interface. The maps are downloaded, but it looks like the Golf 8, but it's fast, unlike the actual Golf 8. You can see here the rev counter and coolant temperature. So if you want a little bit more, that's a cool feature. Now there's some constructions here, so we'll be careful. Slow down, not like this bus that just went through everything. He has nice big tires. Now we mentioned we were sitting on 17-inch alloys and a lowered sport suspension, so the ride quality is good if the tarmac is good. So I would say in Croatian roads it was a little stiff, too many potholes, speed bumps. But if you're in a good road, I think the owner, in Germany, every time I visited, they have good roads, so that shouldn't be an issue. And what else to say? Overview through the car is, I would say, excellent, because it has tall windows, so even for the side mirrors and for the middle mirror inside, it's a good overview. No blind spot issues. And inside, it's quite comfortable, despite the fact that the sport seats do not have lumbar support. They're really comfortable, and I like the cloth. It's nice in the winter. So we're gonna head to the highway. So we've passed the constructions. Still gonna go on our regular route. Now, one thing I really love about manual transmission is that you can downshift and suffocate the engine to slow down and not only use your brakes. And in that process, you also save your brakes for a lifetime. Now the GoPro usually has a little issue where everything that's white goes a little bit bluish. In this specific spot, it goes to the normal color that's supposed to be, for whatever reason. Now it is bumpy here, so when talking about suspension, for the rest of it was good. This car is a rocket. It just flies nicely. You can overtake the Passat on the uphill, slight uphill, no problem whatsoever. Now 130. Again, boxy shape, design of the car, little wind noise. Also depends on the asphalt. There's a smooth patch here, then the rough one. For the most part, for this type of a car, I would say okay. These guys give us some space. Now I'm just gonna come down to 100. You can see on 100 a lot less wind noise. It's mostly tire noise because of the little bit rougher asphalt. Now let's speed up a little bit. Starting from 5th gear, it's starting to pull. It's so easy for this car. Even if I went to the 4th gear, it would just punch even harder, which is just super excellent. Fourth gear, build up revolutions. It just keeps going. But there's 100 here, so we're gonna respect that. Although it's just because of the overpass. I'm gonna move to the left lane. There are some potholes here because of the trucks and the semis, whatever you call them, lorries. So super impressive Volkswagen UP GTI. It is an entry model, but it's definitely worth the money because it's so fun. If it's your first car or like a second car, you won't be disappointed with this little baby. And it's not that bad when it comes to the fuel consumption. Today we had around 6 liters. The owner says on a flat area to work he managed to get the lowest around 3, but it's averaging around 5. So such a sweet ride. Here's our exit. I'm gonna be just a little bit aggressive here. Yeah, it's super stable on the road thanks to the sport suspension. I'm gonna go to the left lane because it's the best one. The rest is full of potholes. Accident turned on the sound. I wanted to check on the bottom, so we're driving a little bit faster on the highway, so it's now 6.9, but today we had a 6.2. It's a little rocket. So if the owner comes back when he does the remap, I can't wait to test this once again. And now of course, as always, we're trying to check here if there's no traffic in front and rear, and we'll do a little launch 0 to 100. Although heads up, immediately I gotta warn you guys, I'm driving automatics for maybe too long. Occasionally get manual transmission, so I might not be the best, but I'll give it a try at once. I think I got a little feeling for the car, so it's safe now. No one in front and rear. I'm just gonna pass this branch here. So yeah, okay, let's see. Sounds nice, but again, speakers. And that's an oper. So safety first, we'll do it on the way back. So we'll do a little headlights test. See the Osram upgraded bulbs. Oh, there's even 2 cars tonight here, so there's some lovebirds. So the beam is quite good, I'd say, for a standard halogen bulbs. Now let's stop here, put it in neutral. You can see the long beam. Oh, it's nice. Now I'm gonna take out my iPhone because it has a little bigger sensor, so it's gonna give you more realistic feedback rather than the... So this is the iPhone camera, and normal beam and a long beam. It's pretty solid for halogen bulbs. So second try for the 0 to 100. So this time there's no one behind us or in front. Full stop, and we got the start stop off. So and that was it. It was quite engaging. Now I'd say this was fun, despite that I have a Tesla and that it's like way faster, but for internal combustion engine it's pretty solid. I might not get excited as I used to at this, but still, from my experience, I've driven plenty of cars by now. It's definitely fun, and I can't wait for the owner to do the remap and add more horsepower and see how much time can he decrease the 0 to 100. Now this app is quite functional. It's also linked to the bottom, so you can see here car. You can see a lap timer. And you can see performance. There's way more options, but although there's like a little delay when it comes to info, but it's still quite cool. And a little different ambience for you. So it's sort of time to wrap up the video and sum or my impressions. I'm impressed. Honestly, I'm impressed. I didn't expect the Volkswagen UP GTI to be this fun. It's definitely a nice surprise. It's just a little agile car. Now, in the past I would think, oh, this is an overpriced toy, at least when it comes to size of the vehicle. But then having in mind, this is either your first car if you're a petrol head, or it's your second car, so for fun. And in that case, it makes sense. You won't buy this car if you have kids. I mean, you could, but the targeted buyer group is going to be, young petrol heads who want something to enjoy, to have fun, maybe to modify, like the owners. So, tweak the engine, tweak the exhaust, pimp the car a little bit to your personal taste, and just enjoy, have some fun. So, having that all in mind, this is a great little car to start becoming a little petrol head. Now This car could be thirsty if of course you're having fun, but it could be also very economical, because more power doesn't always mean more consumption. It could also mean less consumption if you are gentle. So this could be also a quite economical car if you're going or commuting to work, and then it could be a fun weekend driver for the maybe a track or just Sunday fun day driving. It's not a fully automatic. I guess they charge for that in Volkswagen a little bit more. It's a little joke, but Volkswagen does like to charge a lot of things extra. You hear the exhaust a little bit. Now we're gonna find a nice parking space here. This looks like a solid place. There's enough lights, and there's a little backing camera. Although I personally like to use the mirrors. For me, it's just safer, because sometimes cameras can just mislead you, especially the wide lenses. So you can see the little red. There we go. And just a little rev while the engine's warm. Yeah, you can hear that. So it could use definitely maybe an exhaust upgrade, but one thing at a time. And just to show you the car a little bit from the outside on the this lights, and I'm gonna wrap it up. So guys, if you did like the video, smash the thumbs up. Leave a comment below, how do you like the up? So just a little walk around of the GTI. You can see it at daylight. It's a little bit modified, has some stickers on it, but it looks pretty cool. So once again, lights on in the garage, and it's a beautiful little beast. So thank you for watching. Stay safe on the road as always, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye.